Hello YouTube, this is Glad Comrade. So I wanted to upload some content during the actual beta of Battlefront, but I never got around to it, mostly because I was having too much fun just logging in and playing the game. Then I got a little busy. Though here we are. I got a little free time now, and I decided at least to put something up. This video is going to be somewhat of a cross between a Let's Play and a beta impressions. I'd like you to know that this game rocks, but first I'm going to talk about what did concern me. As for the heroes we played during the beta, I really don't find them terribly useful. Alright, Orbital Strike right off the bat. This should be useful later in the match. We are playing as Rebels versus the Imperials on Walker Assault. So a lot of players during the beta were complaining about how one-sided this battle is. However, you'll see that although it is true the Imps have a major advantage, the Rebels have their own ways to win. In fact, I wonder if Rebels should win this mode almost every time once players actually know what they're doing. Alright, so you'll see how awful I am with Luke later in this match, but first let's talk about the star cards. So you unlock these cards that determine your abilities in the match that should allow you to come up with your own unique play style. However, after playing for some hours during the beta and unlocking every ability that was available to us, I did find that there was one build that was just optimal. And that was the jump pack personal shields and cycler gun. Now here you can see I've accessed this area and I am more or less murder fucking just about everyone on the Imperial side. This is a great sniping spot and it allows you to make both the game objective and the Imperial spawn a personal kill zone. You can only do this with the jump pack, whether you're a Rebel or Imperial. Whichever side controls these mountaintops early on is really likely to determine which side ultimately wins the match. That said, I tried just about everything. For instance, the thermal detonator just wasn't that useful, as rarely opponents would be grouped together in a compromising position where you couldn't just as easily mow them down with a blaster. And even considering how Imperial dominance in this battle is mostly determined by vehicle superiority, both the Eon Shot and Eon Grenade are only moderately useful for the Rebels to equip. Although I could notice improved damage against vehicles and turrets with the Eon Shot, it was rare that it would help enough that it just couldn't compare to the effectiveness of the personal shields that could be popped to get you out of a tough spot. Likewise, the Eon grenades seemed effective against ATST especially. It couldn't be nearly helpful enough to compare with the advantage of the jump pack and cycler gun. The cycler gun would allow you to open up and snipe against opponents at a great distance for much greater advantage. You can see me missing here, but with a well-placed headshot, you can one-shot kill, and you hit anywhere else on the body, it's about a 90% damage, and you can just mow them down with the blast rifle.
And the jump pack, in my opinion, was hands down the best star card you could have during the beta. Not only does it allow you to access areas in the maps that would otherwise be impossible, but its use and escape under fire. It's even good to open with sometimes, and that mobility is simply essential. You can use it to cover distance that you otherwise couldn't, just by running if need be. And I know on the drop zone to get to the escape pods, I found it incredibly useful to have the jump pack where you could literally just jump over cliffs to access the pod, and you had a huge advantage over anyone who wasn't using it. I guess I'm talking about this because I think that it would be nice that we saw more variety. So if we, in the full game, have more abilities that can compare to the usefulness of these three, it would be most ideal. Okay, now you see me getting spawn killed quite a few times. That is another issue I want to talk about. It's bad. Fortunately, the spawn points move around, so when people are camping them, they usually only get you once or twice. Uh, there's some kind of luck involved here. But the issue is, at least on this game mode, that the rebels are seriously fucked in this regard. That's because it's really easy for the imps to push up and sit on the rebel spawns pretty much throughout the entire match. If you allow players to do this, they will take advantage and make those easy kills. I mean, of course, they're trying to win, And in this mode, at least, the original Imperial spawn is not even accessible to the rebels. So it makes me wonder if this was somewhat intended to give the Imperial side an advantage, as I'll show how the rebels do have ways to win. However, uh, I must admit that it seems a little weak that this is the way balance is struck. Here I'm trying to regain control of these mountaintops, which is really key during this early part of the Walker Assault game. But as you can see, it doesn't always go your way. I chose this footage anyway because I thought it might be good to demonstrate that you don't even have to play particularly well on the Rebel side to have a good chance at winning. I know a lot of people during the beta and afterwards have been complaining how one-sided the game is on this mode. And I just wanted to show, like, even though I started off pretty strong here, you'll see throughout this matchup I am getting as good as I can give. Except for that guy. Get some. Okay, this is the part of the video, I guess, that is somewhat of a tutorial. This is what you need to do, guys, on the Rebel side. Remember that orbital strike that we picked up early on? Well, you may have noticed that I've just been saving it this whole time. Well, the shields are down on the AT-ATs, allowing them to take damage finally. Now I want to get to the high ground where I have a moderately good chance to call an orbital strike and light these bitches up. Okay, so I don't even think that was a direct hit, but you can see the damage is really extensive, and with the combination of our Y-wing, since we held our objective pretty well in this game, this bitch, he's going down. Now, although I won't be demonstrating in this vid, there is another way for the rebels to pull victory out of their ass in this game mode, and that is the snowspeeder tow cable. I've not managed this myself, but I have seen other players take out both AT-ATs with a single snowspeeder at the end of the match. It of course helps if the rebels establish air superiority at that point, but it is even more crucial that they hold their ground objectives during that late stretch, calling in enough Y-wing attack, giving their pilots enough time to make a run on the AT-ATs and save the day. Therefore, it doesn't happen that often, because if the rebels are getting their asses handed to them throughout the match, it's unlikely for them to establish that kind of dominance in the end, granted, but I wanted to point that out because there is ways for the rebels to achieve victory in this game, and they are objective based. And I think that's fine. As we all know, the Battle Hoth should probably go a certain way to remain true to the films, and I think they actually captured that essence. It allows for a what-if situation where if the rebels are smarter than their opponents, they're more likely to win. They have the opportunity to achieve their objective-based goals, as opposed to just dominating by kills. As for hero gameplay, I must admit I'm not a huge fan, and what I've seen in the beta. But here, I'm going to try and take advantage of this loot drop. I want to do a raid on the upcoming objectives and clear those areas out. Unfortunately, you'll see I rather suck with the heroes, and especially Luke, and I don't have much opportunity here anyway. Yet what I most don't like is that you're constantly losing health as the heroes, and in this instance where you kind of must bum rush,
and do as much damage as you can. That doesn't really fit with my often more thoughtful approach. I also want to point out that the hero gameplay really doesn't feel terribly natural compared to just playing as regular infantry. I do plan to get a lot more practice in with the heroes when we have access to all the game modes, but what we saw so far, I admit, it was a little disappointing. And sometimes I actively avoided the picking up the heroes, knowing I'd probably be just as effective as a regular guy out there on the field. Hopefully I'll change my mind once we get a taste of the hero versus villain and hero hunt modes. Both those sound pretty cool. I know I'm definitely looking forward to playing as both. Fuck this Jedi shit. And yeah, I just got owned there by that turret. That was my fault. Sad. Okay, let's take this opportunity where I'm just getting rocked to talk about dogfighting. I'm not a huge fan of how it works in the beta here, what I've seen so far. I'll admit I'm not terribly good at dogfighting, so that might color my opinion a little bit, but I did take issue with the control scheme. I didn't like how the aircraft is always in throttle until slowed down or sped up. To me, this makes the flying feel like it's on rails, even though it's not. Furthermore, I don't know what, but every now and then it would seem like some autopilot would kick in when I was trying to target something. It would actually take control and move the aircraft in various different directions. I didn't like that at all. Maybe my opinion will change once I got more practice in flight. Um, I also noticed once I can easily dominate the airspace, once a few pilots get into the air that aren't going to immediately crash into the ground like me, uh, uh, because when you initiate the ability, it first directs you right into the thick of combat, and for the first 4 or 5 seconds, you don't have any ability whatsoever to maneuver the aircraft. And during that time, the opposing side can get missile lock on you or get behind you and quickly make short work of your incoming aircraft. I just want to mention these things that concern me here, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out in the full game. Oh shit, Darth Vader. So you can see, although I don't like being the heroes, I don't want to face off with them either. So they definitely have their place in the game. I'm gonna die. Darn that Vader. Alright. It looks like we're getting into the final stretch of this battle. Here, I want to make sure our side can hold our final objectives, calling in enough Y-wing attack to bring that last AT-AT down. I'm also looking for any snow speeder grab, but I don't find any. I end up getting beat pretty good here, if I recall. Let's take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the game. So I know I mentioned a little bit about what concerned me during the beta. I'll tell you what I think is good. Well, first off, understand that this game is fun. Obviously, I don't think what we seen in the beta was at all flawless, but I was addicted from start to finish. So much so that I decided not to upload anything to YouTube at all in favor of just playing more matches. I don't know what it is. The environments are gorgeous, as you can see. It really feels like you're in the Star Wars universe, and this is the Battle of Hoth. But that's not all. This game just feels right. Combat mechanics and gameplay feel quite good, and most importantly, it's fun. Despite there only being 2 maps in the game modes that were available to us in the beta, where this game should have begun to feel repetitive, it didn't. Every match seems to go quite different from the last, and I put in quite a few hours, so I can't wait to see the new maps when we have full access to the game in all its modes. I can't believe I'm just gonna sit here and let this guy shoot me to death. Get out of the turret, dude. Nah, we can't have that. We gotta handle this shit. So what do we have to look forward to? In the beta we played 2 out of the 9 multiplayer modes the full game should feature. There is also a Battle of Jakku DLC that should come a bit later. Let's talk about those game modes. Cargo. Sounds like a standard capture the flag game. I like capture the flag games. I don't know what world it's supposed to take place on or how many players are involved. It's also one of the games I'm looking forward to. Biatch. Fighter Squadron. I'm looking forward to this, mainly because I see the need to improve my flight skills. As previously mentioned, I kind of suck at it. I don't know yet how many players this mode is going to support. If anyone has any details, it, info would be appreciated. I'm hoping this game mode can change my overall opinion about how flight works in Battlefront. For instance, in other games like Planetside or what have you, I'm always kind of the guy that loves piloting vehicles, so I'm definitely looking forward to giving this a shot. Supremacy. This is another 40 player where you apparently capture 5 points. That's all we know about it. It most likely takes place on Endor. I think mode is going to be awesome. If the environments are this cool on Hoth, I can only imagine what it'll be like in the thick of combat in the forest of Endor. This is going to be insane. 20 vs 20 has proven to be pretty awesome so far. I wonder if we'll get to pilot speeder bikes like in the movie. Will there be Ewoks? I guess we'll see. Droid Run. Okay, it's supposed to be 6 vs 6, which is probably the least amount of players in the game among the other game modes. The object is to capture and hold 3 droids on who knows what world. I wonder if this should be done simultaneously in different locations. Do the droids wander? Will it break down into 2v2, v2, 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 v2? Crazy. I don't know yet, so we'll see. See here, it's time to bring this last AT-AT down. Blast. Straight up deathmatch. 10 vs 10. I don't know what world. I guess this is pretty much for the people who want to just fuck up the other guy, Call of Duty style. I doubt esport will develop around it, considering how casual this game is. That's my impression. I wonder if it'll be on multiple maps, though. We played both Drop Zone and Walker Assault in the beta, so I'm not going to talk about them. Okay, this motherfucker is almost down. There it is. Victory for the rebels! So, you can see, like, you don't even have to play particularly well as the rebels to win the match. Looks like I broke about even. And, I know I did my part. Without me out there, I doubt we would have came out with a victory. You can see a Glad Comrade, highest objective score. Hell yeah. Okay, anyway, about the game modes. Heroes versus villains. The objective is to keep the heroes alive. This sounds odd to me. I wonder if the same health degradation timer exists on the hero characters that we see in this mode, Walker Assault. Will this result in the heroes just running for cover while the rest of the team goes to bat for them? I don't know, it sounds odd. I guess we'll find out. It could be kind of cool having like proper duels like Han Solo versus Boba Fett. Then Hero Hunt, which begs similar questions. It's apparently one hero going up against 7 other players. Sounds interesting. I'm guessing between one or both of these modes, I should get the practice I need with the heroes. Hopefully they both work out. And that's it for the game modes, I think, that are we should see in the full game. This video is actually getting longer than I thought it would be, so I'll leave it at that. But I'll be back when we have the full game. I'll be playing on Xbox. Can't wait for early access to begin. We get the full game. Take that, PC bitches. I'll probably also stream a bit on Twitch during that time. It's Twitch TV/GladComrade. You might find me there. If you're also playing on Xbox by chance and want to team up a bit, I'm down. My gamer tag is GladComrade. Hit me up, we'll do something. I'm most looking forward to the Supremacy game, but I'll be playing everything. If you somehow haven't played beta yet, I do recommend that you buy the game when it's released. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Anyway, those of you who have played, you can let me know what you thought about the game in the comments. What are you most looking forward to in the full game? Well, that's it. This is Glad Comrade signing out. See you soon.